Last week I announced that we just bought land for Tucker and to keep other horses on. Since we found out that we were gonna purchase this land, we have been looking for another horse, not only for YouTube, but also to act as a companion for Tucker as well. So the big news in today's video is we found another equine. I've actually been keeping him a secret for a little bit. I got him about a week before we closed on the property. We got him from an auction actually, so he's been in quarantine and he's been on our property quarantining before we bring Tucker over. Coming out of the auction, he was a little sick, just very thin and no muscle, runny nose, diarrhea, things like that. So he is doing a lot better. He has put on some weight already, gaining some muscle, looking a lot healthier, but I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you guys to him. He's been kept back here in this back pen because this area is already ready for animals. We have some work to do in the other field. Look who it is, Yoshi Pony. There you go. There you go. So this is Yoshi, and as I mentioned, we got him from a livestock auction, and he actually came into the auction pen and he had a little harness on, and apparently he pulls a cart. His name wasn't Yoshi when we got him. We just wanted to call him Yoshi because we kind of have this thing with pop culture and also video games. So we figured that Yoshi from Mario Kart fit him well. They said that he was a 7-year-old gelding, and I checked out his teeth, and I think that that's probably about right. He's a very sweet boy. I just think he does need some basic ground manners. So I'm excited to kind of start working with him once he's out of his quarantine and seeing what he can do and what he knows. I want to do some tricks with him. I would love to learn how to drive a cart, and I just have some really cool ideas for videos with him. I'm gonna walk y'all through the process of just integrating him into the family, doing some training with him, and just showing all the steps I take. I was kind of nervous getting a miniature pony because there's stereotypes about them just being sassy ponies, not wanting to pick up their feet, biting, being crazy for treats. I've tried to give him treats and he will not take them, so I don't think he's ever had a treat before. So I don't know if you can tell, just because of his coloring it's hard, but he has very little back muscle, like his spine protrudes, and he has no muscle up here. He has no muscle in his hind end. If I turn him, although he looks a lot better, you know, you can see his spine and his hips protruding a little bit, although he, like I said, looks a lot better than he did. So I think he must have been kept in a pen a lot because he just had no muscle. So when we turned him out in the field, he just walked around a lot, and he just seemed really chill, and he just walked and walked. I know this is a lot of grass to have him on, but he's still very ribby. You can feel and see his ribs. I don't want him to balloon up because I know miniature ponies are prone to that and to founder, so I'm gonna be managing his weight very closely. Same with Tucker, because Tucker is kind of like that, very easy keeper. And when we got him, his feet were very long, like extremely long. So I was able to get a rasp and I filed them down quite a bit. I mean, they're still long now, but just until the farrier can get out and take care of them. I also need to work with him a bit on his feet. I mean, he'll pick up his feet and everything, but he just has a hard time holding his feet up. So that's something we're gonna have to work on before the farrier can come out. So I'll just show you all kind of where we've been keeping him. So this is his little pen, and he has this other bigger field out here that I let him out in just because I want him to be able to move around because, like I said, he has no muscle. So I want him to be able to walk and move. I don't know if I said this in the last video, but they had sheep and cows here before. And so there's a little sheep run here to get on a trailer. And we had to block it off because he actually went in there. Because if I shut this gate, they can just walk up in there. This is his pen. There's his little water bucket. And then I went ahead and prepared this for him. And I've been putting him up at night just because I'm trying, like I said, to manage his diet. And he is getting a lot of grass during the day, so I just want to kind of take him off the grass at night and he'll get hay in here. And these stalls, I'm going to say they're probably like 12 by 12 or 10 by 10. So they're small for an average horse, but for him, they're perfect. So I'm actually gonna take him on a walk right now because he's been in his pen and he actually loves going on walks around the property. So I've been to horse auctions before, but I've never actually bid on a horse. And so I went to this livestock auction because I knew they were expecting horses to be there. I was actually gonna bid on an actual horse to ride, but it ended up going way out of my budget. And then Yoshi came in and he met my criteria. I hadn't really looked at him, but he seemed calm and all that, so I bid on him. I couldn't understand what the auctioneer was saying, so I just kind of put my number up and hoped it was in my price range. And then I won him. And it was a crazy feeling because I'm like, oh my gosh, I just won this animal that I have no idea about it or what its deal is. Will it behave or is it going to be crazy? So then I just went and got him out of his pen, put him on the trailer, and that's how that went. You're so cute. Look at that little nose. Yes. You have to get used to kissing. Yes, you do. So I will say the livestock auction was pretty pitiful. What do you see? It was pretty pitiful. A lot of the animals were sick. I noticed a lot of the horses there were very calm. And when I say calm, it's okay, you can walk around. I mean, like, they weren't drugged per se. Like, usually if a horse is drugged, they have their head down, lip is low, they just seem out of it. But he didn't seem like that. He just seemed like he had done this before, which is a sad thing, because I think he probably has been to a lot of auctions. Buying a horse at an auction is a great way to, hey, what are you doing? Is a great way to get horses and avoid the kill buyers getting them, because a lot of kill buyers are gonna buy horses from an auction. So if you can get a horse at an auction, you can prevent them from having that fate. I've gotten a lot of people say how they want to see some groundwork and training and stuff like that with a horse that hasn't done it before. They want to see it from the beginning and forward. Tucker, I trained him myself, I started him, so everything you see him do, I have taught him, but I do understand how if you're working with a horse who's never done it, it can be easier to see from that standpoint. My goal with Yoshi is, number one, to just record everything I train him to do as we're doing it so y'all can see the process and see how to do things. Personally, like I mentioned, I'd love to learn how to drive a cart and have him pull it because apparently he does that. I want to do a lot of hiking and camping, and I think it'd be really cool if I could teach him to be a little pack pony and just lead him with me on the hikes. Let me know if there's any particular content or training you want to see me walk through with him, because like I said, I am going to document everything so y'all can see beginning to end what are the steps. Obviously, saddle training is kind of out of the question with him. I would love to get him under saddle for kids eventually when I have kids, but I'll just have to kind of research that process and how to do it with a miniature. A bigger rideable horse isn't out of the question for us getting one. You know, I have him now for Tucker as a companion, so I don't really have to worry about that aspect, and now I can take my time finding another horse to ride. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to Yoshi, and you'll be seeing a lot more of him in future videos.